Happy New Year! My name is Luke Womack from the GoFund. So excited to be with the traveling team this morning as you guys train and kick off 2014. Thrilled at what you guys have done and what you guys are doing with 100K Drive this year and want to participate in it as much as we can. The reason I'm joining you today is really to introduce myself, maybe answer a couple of questions that you might have about the GoFund, and introduce ways that we can benefit the traveling team as you guys kick off 2014. So first, to introduce myself, I graduated from Cal Baptist University in 2011 with a degree in business administration with the full intention of going overseas about 5 years after I graduated. Now, God quickly rerouted me in quite an abrupt fashion. I was pretty frustrated with it at the time, to be honest. But now I know that God rerouted me for such a time as this, where the issue of educational loan debt is one that's pervasive and preventing many young people from going overseas like I wanted to. So I hope to play my part, at least at this point in my life, by eliminating educational loan debt so that more people can go. Now, on a personal note, I am going to marry the love of my life in about 3 months. Her name is Allison, and she obviously is way out of my league, and I'm very grateful for her. Hopefully we can meet some of you in the coming months and years as we hopefully come out to Arkansas or to where you guys are one of these days. I would just like to answer 3 questions that a couple of you might have, and then I'll let you guys go. So the first question is, where did the GoFund come from? The second question is, what kind of responses have we been getting, especially when it comes to young people from the traveling team sending emails and coming our way. And the third question is, what is something to look forward to in 2014? So to start out, where did the GoFund come from? Well, the GoFund was launched in 2012. The vision of Revelation 7, 9, and 10 was on our hearts, and that's been our heartbeat all along. I know I don't have to tell you what that verse says, but we simply want to participate and what God is doing to redeem members of every tribe, tongue, and nation to worship Him one day. We just want to play a part in that, that's all. Our mission is to build a network of people who give generously towards enabling young people to make disciples among the unreached. It's that simple. We're not about debt. I think a lot of people think the GoFund is about debt. We're not. We're about God's glory, chiefly. Right now, we believe that the biggest barrier to sending is educational loan debt. And now Albert Mohler of Southern Baptist Seminary, we believe, says it best. About a year ago, he said, if your concern is to get young people into the churches or onto the mission field, the greatest enemy other than Satan himself is educational loan debt. While young people should be unfettered slaves to Christ, some of them are slaves to debt. So we believe that sentiment perfectly echoes the pervasive power and the potential disaster that educational loan debt can have on sending to the unreached in this generation. Simply put, the Great Commission is too great to be sending young people who are going to have to bring back stateside because they default on their loans. So that's kind of where we came from, a little bit about where we're going. Secondly, I want to answer the question, what kind of responses is the GoFund getting and have we been getting over the last few months? I just want to read a couple of emails that we've received over the last few months, and each of these emails mentions the traveling team and how you guys have impacted them where they are. So the first one is from a young man named Luke in November. He says, "Hi Luke, I heard about the GoFund this summer while I was on the IT project with the traveling team. It sounded intriguing since I'll have lots of debt to pay off after school. I'm a junior at Ball State University. I'm in Indiana, majoring in economics and finance. I'm wanting to go to the unreached, probably to a Muslim people group. I'm just trying to figure out the probability of being signed on with you guys. Blessings, Luke." Another email from Kaylee in October. "Howdy. My name is Kaylee, and I'm a Fighting Texas Aggie. Recently, the traveling team visited my church, and the information they shared really changed my perspective and made the Great Commission a reality. Since then, I've bounced ideas around with a good friend of mine to try and decided how we were going to live out the Great Commission. We decided to get our whole home group involved as well. We are greatly considering giving to go to war on student debt. This is something practical and relatable that as college students we feel can help change the world. Thanks, Kaylee. And then one final email from Joel. Hi Luke, I had the pleasure of hearing the traveling team speak at TCU last night. And through the presentation, the Spirit moved me with an urgency to take action. Since the Lord has called me to a mission field on this campus right now, I'm not able to go on trips yet, but I want to be part of sending those who desire to reach the unreached with the gospel. So we've been receiving emails, it seems like on a daily basis, similar to those, many of them mentioning the traveling team and how you're encouraging young people to go, and some of them to give to the Go Fund. So we thank you for pushing them to do that. Now, one final question I want to answer for you guys is, what's something to look forward to in 2014? Now, we have a 3-year plan. That plan started in the summer of 2012. So it'll finish in the summer of 2015. And that plan requires us to send at least one family to the unreached by limiting their debt, taking on the payments while they're overseas. We've actually chosen that family just about 2 months ago. David and Emily Rimstad, they're currently training at New Tribes Training Center in Missouri, and they're planning on being on the field right about at the same time, summer of 2015. So God aligned the calendar pretty perfectly. But right now, 99 of every $100 that we receive is going towards David and Emily Rimstad's student loan debt. Now, David has a degree in religion. Emily has a degree in kinesiology. Now, they're planning on going to a tribe in Papua New Guinea. So David's degree is going to give him the capacity to translate the Bible into their language, which he's receiving additional training for as we speak. And Emily's degree will allow her to meet the physical needs of the people while they're overseas. Now, we chose David and Emily Rimstad as our first candidates for the Educational Loan Repayment Program because they have all the qualities that we were looking for in a family that wants to go overseas. They have been making disciples for years. They have a track record of being good financial stewards of their money, participating in their local church. They're going to the unreached long-term to build the church and then leave once that church is self-sustaining, probably 20 to 25 years after they arrive on the field. Now, the problem is that if David and Emily Rimstad don't get money to pay off their debt from their education that will give them access to these people, they simply won't go. Now, the Go Fund selected them so that we can spend our money on getting them overseas on time. So like I said, 99 of every $100 is going not just to the Educational Loan Repayment Program, but to the Rimstads at this point. Now, we've been able to do that because we've been blessed tremendously. We were given over $10,000 of service for our media packages, for our website, for flyers and videos that have been produced for us. We have partnered with the U.S. Center for World Mission, who's given us access to a ton of resources. Their executive director sits on our board, and he's helping advise us as we move forward. So we've been blessed tremendously, which allows us to give almost every single dollar that we receive to the Rimstads. So just something to look forward to in 2014. Our goal is to send them overseas by mid-2015, but we anticipate that we're going to make some great strides this year in partnering with them. That's really it. I would love to answer more questions for any of you. If you have questions about how the Educational Loan Repayment Program works, or maybe have questions about anything else at all. But we want to benefit the traveling team. As young people come to you and talk to you about concerns that they have about going overseas because of their debt, push them to us. Let us take care of that one issue. Let us stand in the gap on that one issue so that we can send more people overseas, that you guys can accomplish your 100K goal sooner and more efficiently. Let me pray for you guys real quick and I'll let you go. God, I thank you so much for what the traveling team is doing. I thank you so much for their heart for the nations, their commitment to be on the road, to mobilize young students to the nations, to understand your heart for the nations. I pray that this year that they would be able to raise up 100,000 young goers and senders, that those young people would understand the vision set out in Revelation, and they would buy in, and they would buy in big, and that they would buy in for life. God, would you fill each of these young people with the traveling team? God, would you fill them with courage when they get weary, when they get tired? Would you fill them with energy? And would they look to that vision that they might be encouraged by the role that they're playing in seeing representatives from every tribe, tongue, and nation return to you? God, we love you so much, and we're excited for what you're going to do in 2014. Amen. Thank you so much, guys, for giving me a few minutes, and I look forward to eventually meeting every single one of you. You have a nice day.